Hello, I am author and freelance writer Zachary Fenell. When I think back to the beginning of my freelancing career, Yahoo Contributor Network, known as Associated Content at the time, comes to mind. Well, this week, contributors received notice YCN will be shutting down next month. YCN obviously standing for Yahoo Contributor Network. The YCN shutdown continues the downfall of what were called content farms. Now, content farms have a negative reputation for different reasons. Amongst those were low wages and the mass number of content produced. The latter triggered questions about the quality of what was being put out on the web from these companies. Writing for a site like Yahoo Contributor Network has been frowned upon by many in the writing community, or at least it seems that way based off of the insights I've garnered through the LinkedIn writing groups I belong to. I remember one individual in one of those groups even commenting, "No self-respected writer would ever publish for such sites." That stung and stayed with me because, like I said, I was writing for YCN, not to mention at one point Demand Studios. I like to think I have respect for myself. Ultimately, though, I feel that's how Yahoo Contributor Network will be remembered by the majority. A low-paying site that published quantity of poor quality writing. And that's exactly why I'm recording this video today, because I want to place the negatives into context with the positives. Yes, there were positives. I graduated college with my BA in communication, minors writing and philosophy, in May 2009, knowing I wanted to be a freelance writer. Yahoo Contributor Network gave me the opportunity to build a portfolio while making a few dollars. That portfolio helped land me better paying private clients. Additionally, through the Yahoo Contributor Network, I got to live out my dream of covering a Cleveland Indians beat. In 2012, I held a Cleveland Indians fan reaction beat, which led to my take on everything Cleveland Indians to be published on Yahoo Sports. Oh yeah, the money attached to the beat wasn't horrible either. In fact, the money I made in June 2012 from that beat gave me the funds to cover expenses for a road trip to Georgia, amongst those expenses being a 12-hour trip for 12 hours of gas and hotel room for 2 nights. So it allowed me to go to Georgia to see my friends Alex and TJ's wedding reception. Now, with Alex's untimely death this past February, being at his wedding is, in retrospect, even more meaningful. Also meaningful is how Yahoo Contributor Network ended up highlighting people who otherwise may not have received recognition. I interviewed an upcoming classical music singer named Hamid Allah for a piece on Yahoo Voices titled Unlikely Similarities, Classical Music and Cerebral Palsy. That piece got him noticed by someone else, and Hamid ended up spotlighted in a book, Good Music, Brighter Children, Simple and Practical Ideas to Help Transform Your Child Through the Power of Music. That's incredible to me. My article led to Hamid being incorporated into a book. I wonder how many others have had attention called to them after a YCN contributor wrote an article. Yes, eventually the negatives started outweighing the positives for me. When in late 2012, YCN eliminated the featured contributor program and restructured the beat assignments, I stopped being a regular contributor. I did write a handful of work-for-hire assignments between December 2012 and late 2013, in part because those were published on Yahoo Health, a nice place to work in a small book plug. My book, of course, is Off Balance, my teenage memoir about how growing up with a mild case of the neurological disability cerebral palsy affected me socially through adolescence. Off Balance is available on the Kindle, Nook, and iPad via the free Kindle app. With that book plug over, I'll begin to wrap up. It is my sincere hope, by sharing these experiences today, the good Yahoo Contributor Network brought the web and provided contributors will remain preserved. If you have a positive YCN story, do tell by commenting below, or make your own video. And since, unlike Yahoo Contributor Network, I plan to be here a while, why not subscribe to my channel? All you have to do is click here. I've made it that easy for you. You're welcome. See you all later, alligators.